And you can hear the sounds of Harlan in the background, as this is Jupiter from Manlius, New York, coming at you with another feature presentation. This is basically a top-end challenge, as Kiivii, who is now 3-0 in Group B, is taking on JustAGuyPlayin, who is 2-1 in Group B. Kiivii is the last undefeated in Group B, so it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. And what we got here is a Team SAS versus a Hamburg Atlantean. Hamburg Atlantean. Not hamburger, Hamburg. I've been corrected by Vincent many times on that. But I like my hamburgers, so I can't help it. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at the decks that we're going to get to witness played today. And this is JustAGuyPlayin from the US, SAS LP, Team SAS LP, Group B. As we can see, these are his 3 decks. And which one did he decide to bring with him? He's bringing Kinderhart Rascal of Braham. And this deck is basically just a Filthy Saurian compilation that uses shadows to manipulate the game state with all the J Vindas and Subtle Chain Gangs. This is like a Savar Elf like party. Got Whisper, got the Yancey gangs, got Hawking going on, like pure shadow. Like if you're talking about the creatures, like this thing is doing all kinds of shadowy things. And then you look at Logos, and Logos again is super fast, moving through the deck with the Igors, getting through to where he needs to get to. But he also has a Desania for any kind of archive controlling. He has a Universal Recycle Bin to bring things that get Infernused out back, and lots of spot removal damage. Now the one thing that this deck doesn't have in abundance is a big board wipe. So this could be tricky depending on the deck that Vincent decides to bring with him. So who's Vincent? Vincent is Kiivii. This is, again, from Germany on the team Hamburg Atlanteans. And he is the king of Group B right now. He is 3-0, and he's been riding it on his faithful, and he is not going to shy from it. He's still on it. Uwe, the usually dirty, has been filthy so far. As you see that he has 2 Eurekas, he has the Igor Helper Bots, Neutron Shark, all highlighted cards that have been doing a lot of work for him. He also has the Invasion Portal with the Brainstem Antenna combo. Very gross, very efficient. It does a lot of really evil things. And then you look at the Shadow Suite, not 1, not 2, but 3 Ronnie wrist clocks, folks. Like, this is the embodiment of AOA Shadows. You see the Skeleton Key as well, so that there's always a way to get things off. And then he has the Throwing Dart, Whistling Darts that matches and basically does damage right into the Mars Needs Amber. We didn't get to see that combo yet, but it's there and just waiting. And don't forget, he's still can destroy them all and exterminate. So, boom, that is what we got right there. And this is where we're headed. This is the matchup. This is the game. It's all on the line to see, can Kiivii maintain his dominance in the turn. So it looks like they got started without me. But okay. So we didn't really miss much. We did have a Eureka go off and things like that. Good luck and have fun. These guys were so itching to go, they just took off without us, but we didn't miss much. We missed a Eureka that basically put a Pip Pip and a Research Shimoko onto the board. And then we have nothing else in archives on the other side. So for right now, that is what we're looking at. There is no cards in the discard yet, and we are moving forward. So let's get this to the TCO game mode so that way you guys get the best view, the one that does not have my ugly face on it, as we move into the new era. Turn off this border so we can see some what is going on here. There we go. Now you guys can see the scores and stuff too. They didn't give me time to do proper thing. So here's the Harlan. Do you want to say hi, Harlan? Hey, everybody, he wants milk. Or Tristan? Do you want to say hi, Harlan? No, he says he's out. Sorry. He's my co-commentator. Milk, milk, spin the wheel. That's all he just bossy little dude. But come on. I don't need him being loud right now. So we see the tribute play coming down as basically he plays a Paraguardian, the Imperium, and then there is the wards to his creatures to keep them on the board. And I'm guessing that's because there's going to be a Tetrate, yeah, which is a card that basically takes away 1/3 of everybody's creatures. Like, so if you had 6, you'd lose 2. Actually, if you had 4, you would lose 2, so because it rounds up. It's a very good card. So just a guy playing aggressive, getting up to 7 amber before Kiivii could really respond to him. And we see Kiivii with his back against the wall just a little bit. So we see the first of the Ronnie risk clocks come down to take just a guy playing off of his Amber Rush and kind of balance the game out. It's what Ronnies do. They like to handle their business. And then we see the Nerve Blast being used to gain a full evening out. But now we see the ODAC come into play with Amber on it. That's kind of scary. But we do see that Vincent has been holding on to his Mars cards to be able to deal with this without having to sweat it as bad. And lucky for him, he has an orbital bombardment. The orbital bombardment will be used here to clear the ward and kill the ODAC without having to waste his destroy them all, which is a wonderful thing. But he might want to use the destroy them all on the Paraguardian to just get rid of all of that. Okay, so he's opting to. Okay, he left 2 damage on the board like that, so I don't know what that was about. He should have held the agent portal and kept the extra 2 damage. He could have popped off. I don't know what he's thinking here. This is an awkward line. I'm sure there's a resolution for it, but I guess he's going to use exterminate. Get it. I don't get it. He could have killed both of those, and he decided to instead leave the Paraguardian on the board with a random distribution of the orbital charge. He had 8 damage, basically, in orbital damage if he had played it the way directly. But then he plays destroy them all and has to kill his own platform. I don't know. It seems like a tired play. I know that they had a time shift and it's pretty late for Vincent, so that or maybe he was out with the boys with the other Hamburgerians. But we'll see. Maybe he has a master plan here that I'm missing. He still gets himself to 9 amber. But just a guy playing has responded and is at 7, so. There comes Neutron Shark. 100,000. Is that your power level? Mm-hmm. And we are looking at Igor. Do you want to say hi? 25,000. 25,000, yes. Harlan, I think, is counting for Kiivii. Power level of Neutron Shark. 25,000. Off the chains. I'll add some music to the stream for you guys so that you guys can relax to the sounds of the bass rebels. a free to use Twitch music compilation for people who stream. Very grateful for free music. So now we see Kiivii returning to the field with his Martians, and he is in the process of mother gunning into a fixed finger, into a Shatterstorm, who's fighting Disdain. Ooh, the usually filthy. Looks like it's a little bit behind today. But the combos in this deck that we're witnessing are pretty amazing. Like the shadows have super synergy to do shadowy things. The Saurians are super Saurian. One thing I think about this deck though is that the crossovers are rough, but I do like the power level of each house. There's not a lot of reach out of house. You're kind of stuck in your lane, so to say, when you enter a house. But those lanes are strong, so it's good to drive straight. As we see, the logos board populate itself. And we see reassembling automaton take the field. So there's a permanent body. It's probably not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So now we see Vincent trying to get some speed back up with using his Igor, and he does have 2 helper bots with a neutron shark to back them up. So we can see some pretty high value play here from Vincent as far as like wiping the board up, cleaning it up, and getting things in place for next turn. He knows what 9 cards he has left in his deck, so he's hoping to make value out of this, but as we can see on the other side in hand is a subtle chain and a chain gang, so there's at least one capture in both houses that JustAGuyPlayin can go into to take him away from any key threat that he might be able to generate here, which is none, as he's not going to be able to get any amber, but all he can do is control board. He can control, I guess he can get enough amber if he were to use one of his helper bots to play the Miasma and make sure he eats the Desania and the Paraguardian. That'd give him enough amber to get to a key. Oh, and we forgot that there's more stuff in the Shadow House, in the archive. So there we go. We're going to get a little bit of a burst here. These helper bots are good food for the neutron shark. Vincent should know his odds on how many chances he might get with the neutron shark. Shark continues his feeding frenzy. Scientific hack stops the shark from eating. The shark has been hacked for this turn. Vincent did manage to get to 9, which should be enough to gain him at least 1 key. I'm assuming the last 2 cards in JustAGuyPlayin deck are Saurian or other. If it was Shadows, it would have been better to play Saurian and get value off the Saurians, especially to set up your wall. Like you could have played Theron Centurion into Auxiliadon and left it open so that the chain gang would have been sitting underneath a taunt. That would have been a stronger line if these last 2 cards were not Shadows. But it looks like the last 2 cards were Shadows, so that does baffle me that he didn't set up his chain gang a little bit better by going into the 2 cards that were Saurian, and then he would have been able to draw his Shadows this turn, and he would have had a full hand of Shadows cards.
I called you tonight. I've been thinking this for too long. Send a message.
So at least one of the cards had to be Shadows,
I'll keep looking for you,
if not both. But the other card was a Logos card, so like there was like you're gonna like kind of split your hand by playing it this way. So I don't know if I agree with that line, but we'll see what happens, because he does have 2 subtle chains now and a chain gang on board. But will the chain gang survive? That's the question. You're worried about the game clock as everybody. So just for the people who don't know, the game clock, when you set it to 80 minutes, which is our league rule, the 80 minutes basically counts down from 20 to 0, and then it restarts back to 60. The game clock can only hold 60 minutes at a time. So if you ever wanted to put 120 in, you'd get 2 hours. But it would be counted down 60 to 60. So. So it's 2 and 2, and the race for key 3 is on. I think this is anybody's ball game, honestly. Subtle chains could be huge here. It's a pity that he doesn't still have his chain gang, but the subtle chains could still wreak a lot of havoc if they hit that miasma, which they do not. So now Kiivii has an inside line to getting to check. But will he be able to make enough to make a dent here? It all depends if JustAGuyPlayin. He stays at 6, so that Ronnie Risk Clock is only going to be worth 1. So he's going to go to 7, which is exactly enough to win? Is it? Yes, I think so. So if he hits 7, I think he wins. I don't think there's anything Justin can do to stop that. But will he do it? I think he has to, right? He has to play the miasma. I don't guess he doesn't have to, but I'm an aggressive player. I would. But we'll see what Vincent decides. So Vincent does decide to keep keep himself at 6, which is easy for Justin to deal with, fortunately. And now Justin plays back up to 6, but the Ronniever's clock is still in play, and so is the miasma. So again, he can push himself to 7, but now Justin has drawn into a tribute. So by not being aggressive, he's left Justin around in the game to basically annoy him and possibly squeak out this win. So get a ball.
Close your eyes and understand. When I felt the change, it startled me. This carnival of animals is part of me.
I think Kiivii might be feeling that pressure now. What does it say? Hmm?
Twix.
No.
Twix.
What does it say?
Kiivii.
Yes. Pick up your chocolate. Okay, go. Oh, yeah. Kiivii plotting out his game plan here. So he's able to keep him off the key and still keep his miasma, but his miasma is going to become a dead end soon because he's not going to have a way to follow it up if he buys a turn with it. So does he keep it here or does he play it? And because he knows he has to get into Mars Amber next turn to have a real chance. If he had done that 2 turns ago, he would have won. But now he's going to get tributed. not drawn a very good answer to this. So game one goes in the book, and Justice is able to pull it out. So now we will go to the second round, and we will see what happens. And what did you think of that game? That game was interesting, right? Harlan, do you want to say hi now? While we're in between games, you could come say hi. He's too busy mashing up chocolate, making chocolate Play-Doh. This is what he does when he gets these little minis. He basically rolls them into these little balls until he gets sick of it, and then he throws it on the floor, and I have to clean up after him. But sensory, right? It's like something he enjoys. Right now he's turning himself into a Twix monster. Let's see, where are we making our games? We are waiting. Best thing about Halloween is all these little bite-sized chocolates, because being diabetic I can't eat a lot, but I can get these little like smorgasbords of chocolate, and, like eat all the little bits of them and get different flavors. So, All right, so it looks like we're into getting ready to start up the second game here. And with that said, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go boom into the lobby as we wait for Vincent. Milky Way? You wanna say hi? Look! 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 Who's that? That's Daddy. Where's Harlan? Let's see. Get up here. Say hi to everybody in your dirty old sweater that you've been making. Say hello. There he is. Where's Harlan? Where's Harlan? Harlan is pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree. And he's amazing. Say hello. Can you say hi? Wave. Wave. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, everybody, as I make chocolate Play-Doh. Are you making chocolate Play-Doh? Say, are you making chocolate Play-Doh? So they are ready for us, so we are going to switch over to the game. Boo! Say bye-bye. But we see the influence of micro decisions in this game, in that last game, because if Vincent had just been a little bit more gutsy, if he had made the play to have one more amber, he would have won that game. But by being a little bit overly conservative, he got held back, and JustAGuyPlayin was able to turn that around. So, and the weird thing is that it wasn't really a bad play on Vincent's part either. Like, it was just a different style of play. One was a conservative play, one was an aggressive play. And aggressive players will tell you all day, oh, he should have made that play, because that's what I would say, right? But like a control player would say, no, why would I do that when I can try to control my amber state and keep an ace up my sleeve, right? But you saw the ace got ran out, so. But it could have worked out either way. It was a good example of an interesting decision tree, and making a decision tree and having to live with the consequences of that decision tree. Because every time you stay into a house like that, you basically start to narrow your options, and like the person, if they keep applying pressure, will eventually overrun you.
I feel so bright, I feel so gifted, I feel so high, I feel so lifted. By my side is where you're sitting, in my life is where you fit in, I never thought that I would get this far. I wanna drive around in the nice cars, I wanna forget about my scars, and just have a good night. I smoke something down, I drink something down, I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now. I could say it out loud. When I see you, my heart goes, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, whoa, oh, oh, my heart goes, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, yeah. When I see you, my heart goes. I could say it out loud.
Both players kind of making small mistakes here and there, I think. It was short notice, so. So we see Vincent playing out the Logos turn to basically just get the reassembler on board and get some stuff moving. And Justin is still kind of struggling for the identity of his deck and how he's going to be able to burst. Eureka will do it for you. That's a pretty sweet card to get to draw right there. But if Vincent can find a way to apply some pressure here, I think he could really take this game home. So he's going back into Logos to Igor and gets deeper into his deck. And he's going to get that Universal Recycle Bin in play for an Amber. Play the Distania to get that Archive card dead. Because this card, Mars Needs Amber, is a good card to remove. Usually you don't archive the trash cards, but we'll see what happens. So Kiivii continues to put on the pressure as he keeps looking with Igor, as he keeps looking deeper and deeper into the hole. What will he find? He gets a Titan Guardian. Here's an interesting call. Does he play the Distania or does he wait? Little does he know on the other side there's a Eureka waiting to go off. So him holding this Distania right now would be a huge payoff, but no, he goes ahead and he takes the play when he has it. He's gonna regret that when he sees this Eureka come into play. Now the mental game is messing with Vincent as he thinks he's getting into the thought process of the game, and starting maybe to get a little bit tilty. He seems to always be off by one play. Does he feel that? Maybe, maybe not. Vince is pretty stone cold. So Kiivii's starting to establish quite the board state and like just putting dominance down at this point. So this looks like a game 3 might be on the way. And the interesting thing here is, does Kiivii feel he can win with his deck? Or how much will he really put into bidding in on JustAGuyPlayin deck? I think the decks are actually fairly even in power level, depending on how they get played and how they come out. And I think that it would be interesting to see in the bidding how that's going to work out. This game's far from over, but if Kiivii finds a way to win this game, it'll be interesting to see game 3 what happens. Shadow litter onto the board. So much shadow. Now he has the tribute. He also has the Imperium, Paraguardian, like so many tools at this point. This is getting really thick fast. It's imperative that JustAGuyPlayin gets to check and makes Vincent have to actually stop him here. Because if he gets into Saurian, if he gets into Saurian, like after a Logos turn, it would be really bad, because then that ODAC could potentially get some value off of the tribute by having a taunt creature next to it. So interesting. So JustAGuyPlayin goes back to check. PV quickly goes into shadows and decides to take care of that. Ooh, good hit on the subtle chain, hitting the skeleton key. That's a big piece of the plan for amber denial. It's not a very big plan in oof, but that is a part of it. Put him on check, Vincent. Come on. He's thinking right here if he wants to use the action on Whisper to just kill the Mind Warper, because the Mind Warper is a threat to the check that he would get by reaping. But by making your opponent reactive versus proactive, I think it's always the right play to do that. Very good. So Vincent goes and puts him on check. So now he's making him have to find an answer or have an answer, which we know that Justin does have, or JustAGuyPlayin does have that. He has the Miasma and the Ronnie in the archive as well, but you have to make him have the answers. If you don't put the pressure to make him have the answers, then when it comes time to it, he will have the answers. He's going Mars instead, and he's going to feint like he doesn't have a ton to do. Which could be dangerous too, because if we can get an Amber onto that ODAC, all of a sudden all that other stuff is just moot. I think we're going to see some Saurians here. Good of the many. Cyborg scientist. Oh, he qualifies. All his guys qualify not to get killed. This card is not good for him. Doesn't do anything. It's always been the bane of that card, is actually trying to get the things when you need them. But that is a very good early game card. It does answer one for one, usually a first turn play or an early play when people are trying to diversify their board state. That is an allowed action because he stated it right after he clicked it and has made no other actions or anything, so that isn't something that we penalize for on TCO. Or in a major tournament. Because in a major tournament you can go, I think I'm going to go Saurian. Nah, actually I'm going to go Logos. As long as you haven't made an action in the declaration, you're always going to get that call from the judges to let you change houses. So. But once you move to play, then that's when it locks in.
I can feel your energy when you're looking back at me. Through the crowd I see your eyes. They're like stars beneath the sky. Can we call upon our friends and dance until the end? Can we stay right here forever?
All right, so we saw the end of that game as there was a concession, and so there's going to be 41 minutes in the next game. So as they make their decisions, and JustAGuyPlayin will also get to make the first call, like whether he wants to play or second. Yours. So that was quick. Do, 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 do. All right, they're gonna remake the game in reversal. 41 minutes. 2 chains. 2 chains. Yeah. There they are. Go ahead and jump in here. See if we can get the right lineup. JustAGuyPlayin did say he wants to go second, so we will be remaking until we get to second. Round 3 is always the most exciting round as far as like getting into the bidding and stuff and seeing what people are willing to bid. This art is one that is not practiced enough. It's a very hard thing to figure out correctly, because you have a couple of things going against it. Do 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 do. So basically what happens when it gets down to bidding is like the person that owns the deck is going to have usually have more of a tie to it, right? Like where they kind of get a skewed view of how good their deck is, and they basically think they can make their deck work at levels that maybe it can't. But you also get the other person whose deck just lost 2 games in a row, and they get those feelings as well, like where they're like, well, why didn't my deck fail me? Do I know that I always fail to this matchup? And so I really don't know who's at the advantage in the bidding when it comes to bidding, like if it's the person that owns the deck or the person that is playing against the deck. It seems like a interesting like research topic. Have to make a play group. Yep. We are here. We are watching. Yup. Good luck. Have fun. Good luck to both. Good luck, 3 balls. So here we go, entertaining game. Here comes the full-on commentary, because this one is for the ages. This is the one that is going to matter. So we have 2 chains on Kiivii and no chains on Just a Guy Playing. There's something about Oov that Justin likes, that he thinks made it okay for him to basically let his deck go for only 2 chains. So we're debating on whether or not we want to keep this hand or not. I see Vincent's hand being very mulliganable, but Just a Guy's hand looks fine. Decides not to tempt fate and to just go ahead and get the Igor value on turn 1, which is fine. Helps shape his hand a little bit. But did he lose from the Igor? That is the question. He lost an Into the Night, which is not too horrible. So we see Knuckles, Bolton, Ronnie, Wrist Clocks, and Little Nif. All in value, all in play. Very dangerous group of shadow creatures on both sides. Both sides can do some work. All kinds of Svar flavor. So we wait on Just a Guy Playing as he went Eureka, and ooh, good hand. Drew into a good hand as we see Skeleton Key and the Research Smoko unfortunately were hit on the Eureka. Sure you'd like to play the Smoko, but and get the Miasma in there with the Skeleton Key maybe? That would have been better. But he did draw into a plethora of Martian cards. Now Vincent contemplates his turn. Starting my 3rd recording today. So we see the Twin Bolton mission played onto the Little Nif and Ronnie to turn off the Little Nif mostly, which is a smart play. Plays the information exchange to get some amber, and then passes turn after he fights the Igor. Start to see the Martian invasion. Destroy them all. Takes out the chain gang. In essence, like, you're destroying an artifact there too, right? 'Cause that chain is definitely magical. I'm gonna need a nap after this one. See Igor to dig, resembling a Tata. Oh, yeah, they're resembling a automaton. Automaton. That's the way to say it. Big Shadow's turn where he's gonna just pepper the board, setting up that Mars needs Amber like we wanted to see. So maybe it's gonna happen. That'd be a huge play. So the Miasma did get played this turn, and the Ronnie Wristclocks comes in and gets himself to 6. So he's playing more aggressively with his Amber than Vincent did last time in game 1. So he's thinking that maybe that would be the tilting point in this deck, is to get to 6 and just stay at 6 and keep Vincent having to counterpunch, and then at some point the bell will ring and he will not be able to answer him, and that's what he's hoping. Oh, there's the Odak with some Amber though. That is not a good sign for the other side, but lucky for the other side, they have Mars needs Amber still. So question here is, does he go Logos? Nope, he's gonna go Mars. Gonna make it happen. So we see a Saurian turn from Vincent, balancing out the board a little bit, trying to negate the stealing with the Odak, and now JustAGuyPlayin is going to respond with some Martians, and we're going to probably see that Odak under duress at some point. But there's all the damage, and the Mars needs Amber does its job and clears the board for Vincent, takes him off of all his Amber. And spreads it out amongst his creatures. So that one was for Carl. Carl wanted to see that combo, so there you go, Carl. You got the combo that you wanted to see. Alright, so JustAGuyPlayin is still thinking about how he wants to finish up his turn here. Alright, so we're awaiting Kiivii. Both people taking their time and being meticulous about their turns. Vincent stating that he's thinking, wants his opponent to know that he's not trying to sandbag here. Still got 30 minutes, but this is these are crucial moments in this game. Right? So Kiivii made his play, decided to go Logos and clear out some stuff and get himself back up to 4 Amber. And now JustAGuyPlayin responds with the Eureka, and he's able to play his Pip Pip behind it. So that's another strike against Vincent, trying to get stuff done. So he made a good play, a good move when he had to get his Amber back up. But there is one key forward for JustAGuyPlayin, as now the pace is starting to kind of get a rhythm as Kiivii plays his Hawk just for value. Subtle change. Subtle change. I say JustAGuyPlayin opting to go with the lizard turn. Here comes the Archimedes. Neutron Shark did some work. Maybe not quite as much as Vincent had hoped for. And Kiivii concedes, so JustAGuyPlayin has won. He's decided that he's too far behind here. Good games, and that was the last of the undefeateds in this bracket. Yes, good game. Tell him, good game. Harlan with the good games. And we're gonna wrap up the stream. You want to play games? But Harlan is all about the playing games. All right. Say hi, Harlan. Can you say hi? No, say hi, not bye. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. This is all he wants right here is the phone. But anyhow, we're gonna wrap up the stream, Harlan. Can you tell everybody have a nice day? Say have a nice day. Have a nice day. That's all we wanted to hear. So this is Jupiter from Manlius, New York, with his cutest son, the littlest man, Harlan. Say goodbye. Goodbye, and we will see you soon.